So market cap isn't really what you think it is. This does not mean that there's $810 billion inside Bitcoin right now. And this does not mean that there's $2.86 trillion inside Apple right now. What market cap actually is a really shitty accounting system that is trying to value an asset, but it's a really really shitty way of accounting. So let me demonstrate this real quick. Let's say there's 1,000 shares of whatever stock, and each stock is worth, or share is worth $10. Total market cap is $10,000. Let's say this market. So this is an extreme example. I'm just trying to prove a point. Let's say there is absolutely no liquidity. There's no buying and selling. I am the only buyer. I buy one share for $10.50, a 5% increase in price. And then if you actually look at what happened, only 50 cents came from the outside world into this stock. So only 50 cents was added in value. So in a completely illiquid market, that would mean the price of a share is now worth $10.50. All of a sudden, the total market cap for 1,000 shares is $10,000 and $500. So you see why this is just such a shitty accounting system. According to the system, it increased. The market cap increased by $500 when all they did was add 50 cents into the market. And this works vice versa. You could have a 500 decrease in market cap by removing 50 cents from the market. So it's if I sell or buy this stock for $9.50. And usually this isn't a big problem because markets have a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of buying and selling. So, this is an extreme example that pretty much doesn't happen in large things like Bitcoin or Apple stock. But the point is, when you think, so this entire thing right here, this is really an illusion, making you believe that Apple is worth 32% more, and which is technically true, but you are assuming that 32% more money went into this stock compared to, since this is a year ago, and that's not necessarily true. I actually don't know how to calculate how much actual money came into the market, but I do know that in this really shitty accounting system, that is how much we are led to believe. So let me just give you an example. So if the stock market, like we saw in 2020, it sold off, it went down in value by 35%. So the market cap went down by 35%. Does that mean 35% of all money went away? Did money disappear? Did money, the headlines always like to go like, $500 billion of money evaporated in one trading session. That's not the case. What is actually happening when you see giant sell-offs like this, it's actually the market realizing that the value was never there to begin with. That's, because that's what markets are. It's like a little game. When you sell, for example, like here and here and here, you're kind of you realize that the value is a lot less than what it really is. So you realize something while nobody else realizes it, and that's what smart investors did over here. So, and when you're over here, you realize that the value is not, you think the value is worth more than what people think it is. So you're just constantly front running everyone else. It's almost like that gambling game Crash. I hate to compare these markets to such a stupid thing like that gambling game, but it's kind of true, right? You kind of get out before everyone else realizes what's going on, and that's but that's shown by this, because market cap and price, they're just units of account that's trying to value something, but they're really, market cap is such a shitty way of valuing stuff. Like think about how all of these coins have market cap. The first Bitcoin ever sold let's say I know it didn't sell for a penny, but let's say in our example it sold for a penny. All of a sudden, the market cap of Bitcoin went from, there was 21 million. Well, actually, the circulating supply was not that much at the time. But let's say in a really ghetto example, in the inception of Bitcoin, and let's say it sold for a penny. So 1 penny went into the market of Bitcoin, and all of a sudden, the entire market increased by $210,000 in value. So do you see how, it's not a good way of measuring things? And let me show you for another example for homes. Let's say there's a neighborhood of 100 houses, and let's say all these houses have the same square footage and the same amount of bedrooms. Okay, so all the houses are worth $100,000. Your neighbor sells his house for $110,000. All of a sudden, you could also probably sell your house by $110,000, and your other neighbors can, and your all the other neighbors can, and all of a sudden, everyone's homes is suddenly worth $110,000. And if you look at the math of that, there's 100 homes original price is $100,000. The market cap of that neighborhood is $10 million. But if just $10,000 worth of value came into this market, the total neighborhood, the value of the neighborhood increased by $1 million. And you may ask yourself, in real terms, did the neighborhood actually increase in value by $1 million? Yes, technically it did, but there's nothing different with the homes. Nothing is different about it. And so you might be thinking, oh, let's say your house is worth $110,000. You're like, oh my God, I made $10,000. You actually didn't. You didn't make any money. And so when you see housing, when you see the peak of a housing bubble, people feel very euphoric about the value of their homes, and all of a sudden you see the market sell off. You didn't lose anything because you never had that much money to begin with. You never earned this money. This was just a illusion. It was a really shitty unit of account. So when your homes sell off in value, it's just the realization that the value was never there to begin with. That's what markets are. It's psychology. And that's what money is. Money is belief. It's data, and it's trying to be a unit of account, of proof of work, or the amount of it's trying to give a numerical value on resources. So it's just a really bad way of unit account. I wish a lot of this would change. But nothing much I could do about it. So I wish I knew this a lot earlier, and I wish I made this video a lot earlier too. But I've only heard about this like a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it was I don't want to be like a little like crybaby, but it was I can't believe that I just heard about this. And well, that's all the video. That's the video that I wanted to show today or make today. Please give it a like if you found it useful, and please subscribe for more content. Thank you for watching, and bye.